Chosen one, have you ever woken up from a dream where literal agents were chasing you through some kind of astral realm and you brushed it off as just your imagination running wild? Well, what if I told you that God has literally blocked world leaders from seeing the grand scheme of things, so now they're spiritually stalking you to steal your divine insights because their own bodies are too corrupted to download higher wisdom? What I'm about to share with you is going to validate every single weird spiritual experience you've had, every moment you felt like someone was watching you, every time you just knew something without learning it, and every frustrating situation where you felt energetically drained around certain people. Right now, as you're watching this, there's an invisible war happening that most people don't even know exists. World leaders, presidents, prime ministers, the people who supposedly run this planet are so spiritually bankrupt that they've created an entire shadow operation to steal your natural connection to divine intelligence. And the craziest part, they're using your own soulmates and twin flames as Trojan horses to get access to your energy field. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why you've felt so displaced in this world, why certain people drain your energy, why you keep having those weird dreams with agents chasing you through different dimensions, and most importantly, why your time of recognition is coming sooner than you think. Let me start by explaining what you actually are, because most chosen ones have no idea how powerful they really are. You're what we call a grid worker, an energetic divine being whose body is literally equipped to channel higher dimensional wisdom. And I'm not talking about basic light codes that every spiritual person talks about on social media. I'm talking about codes of wisdom, knowledge and understanding that most people's bodies would literally fry trying to process. Think of it like this. Think of trying to plug a supercomputer into a basic household outlet. Most people's spiritual circuitry would burn out immediately. But you're built different. Your body can accumulate, transmute and metabolize this high-level cosmic energy without breaking down. That's why you get those random downloads at 3 in the morning. That's why you suddenly know things without ever learning them from books. That's why you can see patterns and connections that other people completely miss. This isn't some new age fantasy. This is divine hierarchy in action. There are levels to this spiritual game, and you're operating from a much higher frequency than the average person walking around this planet. Your insights aren't just random thoughts, they're codes of wisdom that not a lot of people can get their hands on because their body cannot accumulate or transmute or even metabolize that kind of energy in order to act on it. This divine hierarchy exists for a reason. There are a lot of souls here with divine hierarchy, and the fact that you're receiving this message means you're likely one of them. Your natural ability to download insight that isn't necessarily something you gained by reading books, but it's just the way you think. That's your divine inheritance. You get a lot of downloads, insights, you see things, you have premonitions. You are the divine hierarchy at play. Now here's something that's going to completely shift your understanding of reality. The separation of Earth has already occurred. Right now, as we speak, you're existing simultaneously in two different realities. There's this Earth, the one that feels heavy and chaotic, and there's the separated Earth where we're experiencing a golden age. A lot of us that feel as though we are remembering, we're coming back online, are actually people who exist simultaneously, not just in this plane, but also in the Earth that has been separated, the Earth where we are experiencing a golden age. We are already existing in that plane. You know that feeling like you remember heaven, like there's somewhere else you belong? That's because part of you is literally there right now. You're living in both the aftermath of a cosmic separation and the promised land at the same time. That gap you feel, that sense of not quite being able to see the full picture clearly, that's because you're bridging both realities simultaneously. A lot of us have been left behind, but that's not really the case. We have come of our own volition. We are conscious on this side of the story, on this side of the planet, in order to bring about order, because nothing goes to waste in this planet. Nothing goes to waste in this universe. The 144,000 that people keep talking about in spiritual circles, that's you. These are people, energies, people that live on both frequencies, both planets. Everyone's sitting around waiting for some big apocalyptic event, but the perspective I received was completely different. A lot of people think that Armageddon is coming, but the perspective that I was given was actually very different. It has already happened. If time exists simultaneously, it has already happened. We are actually living in the aftermath of the separation. We're also living in the promised land at the same time. This is the part of the video that I really need you to focus on, because this is the part that Spirit made clear to me. Energetic siphoning doesn't just occur in day-to-day romantic relationships, lovers, friendships. No, what you're seeing is a smaller diagram of what is actually playing out on a larger scale. A lot of you who have resonated with the two-timeline reality, where you're existing simultaneously somewhere else, what I would consider heaven and here, those of you who resonate with that, your energy has been called upon by a lot of world leaders. Your energy has been brought to the forefront with these people that their body is incapable, is literally incapable because of how denigrated they are spiritually. Their body is incapable to download these insights, to have them generally emerging from themselves. So what they do is they spiritually bind their field with grid workers, with energetic beings, hierarchical beings, with high-ranking spirits. They bind themselves, these leaders, these world leaders, political leaders, whatever you want to call them. They bind themselves to these beings, civilians, in order to gain higher knowledge and insight, more like the chessboard, in order to see the chessboard without actually removing themselves from the power source, without stepping down. It's like they're cheating off your homework, except your homework is your divine DNA, your frequency codes that you've earned through lifetimes of spiritual evolution. They're using you as a spiritual GPS system to navigate decisions they're too corrupted to make on their own. These people have maintained their power by hijacking or by piggybacking on the downloads and insights of the divine beings that are supposed to maintain natural order on this planet. This is the war that we're seeing, the true war behind all of the shenanigans that we see externally. Now, you might be thinking this sounds crazy, but let me ask you something that's going to validate every single weird experience you've had. A lot of you may have even resonated with some of the messages that I've given in the past about these entities, these vampires coming into your dream space, into your reality to interview you, to talk to you, to either chase you. You might actually resonate with having Smith-looking characters with actual, I'm talking like literal agents that chase after you in the astral. You may have protectors, beings, I'm talking spirit beings or animal spirit beings that protect you. These are parts of your identity that are uncorrupted. There are parts of your identity that don't necessarily resonate with being a human being, but they are you. Those aren't random nightmares or your imagination running wild. Those are actual spiritual encounters. You're being targeted because of what you carry. And those protective beings that show up in your dreams, those animal spirits or guardian figures that help you escape, those are the uncorrupted parts of your identity, the parts of you that don't even resonate with being human because they're connected to your higher dimensional self. Every time you felt like someone was watching you in your sleep, every time you've woken up feeling like information was being extracted from you, every time you've had those interview dreams where entities were asking you questions, all of that was real. You've been living in the middle of a cosmic operation that most people don't even know exists. So Spirit guided me to talk about the 144,000 and what that actually even represents in this context. These are people, energies, people that live on both frequencies, both planets, both the planet that a lot of people think that Armageddon is coming. But the perspective that I was given was actually very different. It has already happened. If time exists simultaneously, it has already happened. We are actually living in the aftermath of the separation. We're also living in the promised land at the same time. And that gap of not being able to quite see it for what it is, this is the part that really changes the entire playing field. Most people are waiting for some future event, some grand awakening, some massive shift. But you're already living in it. The separation has occurred. The golden age exists. You're participating in both realities right now. That feeling of displacement you have, that's because you're literally bridging two different versions of Earth simultaneously. Now this is going to explain so much about your journey and why it's been so difficult. A lot of you who may have walked in your divine order may have came across people that do know what that heaven feels like, what they do know where they come from, but they got so mixed up in the forgetting, they got so mixed up in this reality that they became the torturers. They became those who inflict pain. I'm kind of getting the perspective of Dean from Supernatural, who ends up going to hell, and in that process he would stand hell as much as he can, but eventually he becomes the torturer in order to escape the torture. He gets a deal from Crowley in order to be the torturer, and that becomes a part of his identity. A lot of your journey has been made difficult because the agents of this matrix have used these beings who frequently resonate with you in order to infiltrate your field. These corrupted chosen ones became spiritual double agents. They use people who carry your frequency signature as doorways into your energy field. It's the perfect infiltration system because your heart naturally wants to connect with other awakened souls. But some of those awakened souls have been compromised and turned into weapons against you. This is why you've encountered so many people in the spiritual community who seemed enlightened but left you feeling drained and confused. This is why your journey has felt like an uphill battle. The Matrix controllers have strategically placed corrupted lightworkers in your path to throw you off course and tap into your energy without your permission. And a lot of you, whether you know it or not, there are places and locations that you have a hard time leaving. Places and locations that you have a hard time being accepted to, because these leaders, these energies that rule this world, are keeping you in a specific location where they can access you generally, where they can tap into the downloads, the frequencies that you're anchoring, because their body cannot do it. Their body cannot do it. Have you noticed there are places you just can't seem to leave, jobs you can't escape from, relationships that keep you trapped, geographic locations where you're somehow never accepted or welcomed? That's not coincidence. That's strategic positioning by these controllers who have created a spiritual GPS system to track divine beings like you. They know where you are at all times. They know how to access your energy field remotely. They've positioned corrupted souls around you to act as energetic bridges between your divine downloads and their desperate need for higher wisdom. You're being kept in spiritual containment zones where your energy can be harvested more efficiently. And the fact that you do it, this is where when you talk about powerful, what does powerful mean? Because it's very vague. We talk about it in the spiritual community. You're so powerful you have no idea because the Most High is directly connected to you. And the Most High has ordinances. They have layers to the system. And it isn't about authoritarianism. It isn't about being tyrannical and pressing down on people. It is run by wisdom, knowledge and understanding. And that inherently creates freedom for people. That is where your position is. But what has happened for a very long time is these spiritual beings, these ascended masters, so to speak, who are simultaneously existing in the separated earth, the earth that is separated like a cell in the ascended earth, and also the descended one, simultaneously existing in these realms. What is happening is instead of the mission being completed, whereas you, if you're resonating with this as that being, we're supposed to anchor and sort of not be behind these world leaders, but show them what they've forgotten, sort of re-anchor that power in this descended earth. As opposed to that happening, what has happened is that a lot of these ascended masters, these spiritual people, are being tailed, or they're literally being attached, being binded spiritually, energetically to these people so that they can be the hidden hand, the hidden force behind their ability to conquer each other, behind their ability to foresee things that they were not actually supposed to foresee because their heart and their intentions are too lower dimensional, too impure to ever download those insights. They have rigged who is actually in control. That is what I'm getting. They can't quite get rid of the Most High, so what they do is they appropriate the Most High. They use those who are descendants of the Most High in order to maintain power and control, where in reality, if the chips were falling where they should, if all these energy siphoning were not going on, you would see these people not be able to, what I've called here as spiritual blindness. You'll be able to see these people not be able to see a rock if it was coming to them. Literally, if a rock was coming straight to their forehead with their eyes wide open, they wouldn't be able to see it. That is how little of a vision that they have. But what they do is they take up these rituals. They participate in searching, mining for energetic hotspots where these grid workers, these beings of the Most High who have mostly forgotten who they actually are and haven't shielded their energy, are left open enough for these energies to tag along behind them. And these are civilians. Like, I need that to be said. These aren't some agents in the CIA. These aren't like that. These are civilians. These are people like you, your grandma, the woman in the kitchen making cookies, literally the person in the grocery store bagging groceries, literally. And they have no idea that they're supposed to be a king or a queen somewhere. No idea. They have no idea that they are a king or a queen somewhere, literally simultaneously existing in both of these realities. That is what we're coming to. My entire body is covered in goosebumps. Literally, this is the true reality. We're talking about ordinary people living ordinary lives who are simultaneously existing as royalty in the separated Earth dimension. Your mail carrier might be a king. The cashier at your local store might be a queen. The mechanic fixing your car might be a high-ranking cosmic official. They're all walking around completely unconscious of their true identity, getting their energy harvested by people who know exactly what they're stealing. And a lot of this shadow operation is coming to the forefront because a lot of these chosen ones, these 144,000, you can call them however you want, they're sealing off their energy. And as this is happening, there's going to be a bankruptcy. There's going to be like a blackout, but right now as we speak, they're actively working to prevent this power shift. So what do these people do? They summon these people, these souls, into rituals. They summon these souls into certain coordinates. They summon these souls and they mine them for information without their knowledge. They use technology to do this. They use spiritual tools to do this, all while pretending like they're in power. They've got control. They don't. They're scheming off of somebody else's homework. They're scheming off of somebody else's DNA, their code that they have worked and they have rightfully earned, that they have a frequential match to hold that type of wisdom. These shadow operations involve both high-tech surveillance and ancient ritual practices. They're tracking your energy signature through digital means while simultaneously pulling you into astral rituals where they extract information from your subconscious. They've created a hybrid system that combines modern technology with occult practices to maximize their access to your divine downloads. Every time you feel inexplicably drained after being around certain people, every time you wake up more tired than when you went to sleep, every time you feel like your ideas are being stolen or your insights are showing up in other people's work, that's this system in action. Imagine if these people were given the actual authority. It brings me here. This is what's going to happen eventually. I do not know what timeline this is on, and I'm getting that I'm downloading a message here from a very futuristic timeline, but it's also very much present. It's sooner than we think is what I'm hearing. There is a time when these souls are going to be brought to the forefront. And I have seen this in a dream where prophets were yanked out of corners that they were hiding in with the knowledge buried deep into their chest that presidents, prime ministers, world leaders, kings, queens of this world, of this matrix couldn't access. That they had to directly come to these people and give them the actual authority. They had to directly come to these people and say, we need your help, because they couldn't do it in a sneaky way anymore. They couldn't ritually take it from them anymore. That is where we're going. That is where we're going. In this vision, there are these so-called powerful people, completely desperate, on their knees begging for access to divine wisdom because their shadow operations had been completely exposed and shut down. They could no longer hide behind the scenes, stealing energy through rituals and spiritual bindings. The cosmic game was up, and they had to openly acknowledge the true spiritual hierarchy. The desperation in their eyes was something else. They knew they were spiritually bankrupt, without access to divine downloads. All their technology, all their wealth, all their political power meant nothing when they couldn't access the cosmic intelligence needed to navigate the shifting timeline. And for a lot of people, there's a lot of fear-mongering going on about being attacked energetically, being brought into the dark ages, all of that stuff. That is not a worry for you, that is a worry for the world leaders, these people that have for a very long time stolen from the collective, that remembers heaven, that has Eden encoded into their DNA. That is the truth. And these beings, a lot of them don't have a soul anymore. They don't. A lot of them don't have a soul. They've sold out humanity for whatever bits and pieces that they can grab from these other entities, these dimensional beings that have hijacked and parasitically leached on this earth. That is the truth. All this talk about chosen ones being attacked? That's projection. That's the fear of the controllers being broadcasted through their compromised spiritual influences. They want you to think you're under attack so you'll stay in fear and keep your energy signature low and accessible. The truth is, they're the ones under attack. Their entire system is collapsing as more chosen ones wake up and start shielding their energy. Every time someone like you recognizes their worth and stops giving their power away, another piece of their parasitic network crumbles. And it's sooner than we think. That's what I'm getting. It's sooner than we think. I'm going to leave this message here because I don't want it to be complicated. A lot of the people that came here just like you, a lot of the people that were awake simultaneously in that divine reality and that came here as a chosen one, and they decided to be corrupted because they believed that you were corrupted, because they were tricked into believing that you were corrupted by those who are actually parasitic, who are vampiric. Those people they came to rescue as much as you did, but instead they became used as a loophole to access you by these beings. These energies, at this time there's a humongous judgment that has been called on these people. And a lot of you, these are your fellow soulmates, your twin flames. These are people that share a code with you. They share a soul family at the very least with you. There is a time and a place for them. I'm not seeing them being completely discarded, but these are people that are going to deal with their karma through lifetimes. Chosen one, you didn't find this message by accident. You were summoned by the pulse of something ancient in your blood, by the frequency only the rarest of souls can hear. Welcome to the Obsidian inner order, where the ones who've been to hell and back don't just heal. Inside our sanctuary, we don't chase clout, followers, or fake peace. We shatter illusions. We wield prophecy. We initiate miracles. Each week our happy hour Zoom call isn't just a meeting. It's where revelations drop like lightning. It's where you laugh with soul family, cry with cosmic warriors, and walk away charged up. You're not just joining a group. You're stepping into a soul alliance, a league of misfits, prophets, warriors, and lightbringers who were never meant to fit in this world because we came here to reshape it. If you've been feeling like the system lied to you, I've always known you were built for a different timeline. If your glow-up has enemies praying for your downfall, then it's time. This is your signal, the Obsidian inner order, powered by Astral atom. We don't fit in, we take over. Link in the description. There is an energetic imprisonment about this energy that I'm picking up on. And they may never have what was promised to them with you. They simultaneously, when they did something here, they simultaneously broke something there. There is no separation. When I say there, I'm talking about the earth that has been separated. We are here on this one. The earth that has been separated already exists simultaneously. Time is an illusion. It already exists. So when these soulmates, twin flames of yours, did something here, they simultaneously created a rupture there. And for them, their resonance with you there is going to feel like it's lagging. It's going to feel like it's lagging because of what they did here. This is perhaps the most heartbreaking part of this entire cosmic drama. The people who were supposed to support you, who were meant to walk alongside you in this mission, got manipulated into becoming the very weapons used against you. And now they're facing cosmic consequences that ripple across both dimensions of reality. Some of your deepest connections, people you felt an instant recognition with, people who seemed to understand you on a soul level, some of them made choices that created permanent rifts in the fabric of your shared spiritual destiny. The love is still there, the connection is still real, but the timeline for reunion has been severely damaged. They're making this blackout seem like it's an energetic attack. Yes, it is, but on who and on what? It's an energetic realignment, because a lot of these forces that have used these beings, these ascended masters, as a roadmap, as a guide, without them being actually in power like they're supposed to be in power. Not because we're talking about hierarchy and people need to be riding each other with a crop, no, but because the Most High said so, because these are people who embody divine order and light. That is why these downloads are able to metabolize in their body. That is why they're able to see the whole board even without being given the inside knowledge, the secret knowledge. You are the realignment. Every time you recognize your worth, every time you shield your energy, every time you refuse to be spiritually vampired by people who haven't earned access to your frequency, you're participating in the greatest power shift this planet has ever seen. You're not crazy for sensing that something bigger is happening. You're not paranoid for feeling like you're being watched or tracked. You're not imagining the spiritual warfare that's been happening around you. All of those experiences you've had, all of those dreams with agents chasing you, all of those moments where you felt like someone was trying to extract information from you, it was all real. You've been living in the middle of a cosmic operation that most people don't even know exists. But now you know, now you understand why you felt so displaced, why this world has never quite felt like home, why you've always sensed that you were meant for something bigger. You are something bigger. You're a divine being temporarily wearing human skin to anchor higher frequencies on a planet that desperately needs cosmic wisdom. You're not here by accident, you're here on assignment. You're part of a celestial intervention that's been planned across multiple timelines and dimensions. The separation has already happened, the golden age already exists, you're already living in paradise, you just need to tune into the right frequency to see it clearly. And as more chosen ones remember who they are and start shielding their energy from unauthorized access, this whole illusion of separation is going to collapse. Every time you trust your intuition over external authority, every time you choose love over fear, every time you stand in your truth despite opposition, you're fulfilling your cosmic mission. You're helping to restore divine order to a planet that has been operating under spiritual theft for far too long. This is your time. This is your moment. Stop giving your power away to people who haven't earned it. Stop allowing corrupted souls to drain your divine downloads. Start recognizing yourself as the cosmic royalty that you actually are. The universe has been waiting for you to remember. The separated earth, the golden age dimension, has been waiting for you to step into your full power. Your spiritual family in the higher realms has been waiting for you to shield your energy and complete your mission. You are the solution this world has been waiting for. You are the divine intervention that's going to restore cosmic order to this planet. It's time to act like it. It's time to stop playing small in a reality that was designed to keep you disconnected from your true nature. Your time of hiding is over. Your time of recognition is here. Your time of stepping into full spiritual authority has arrived. The Most High didn't send you here to struggle in obscurity. You were sent here to restore divine order and show this world what real spiritual power looks like when it's operating from love, wisdom, and cosmic intelligence.